This video is about taking a look at the state of Android in 2018 for Tech2.com. So Android is of course the world's most popular mobile phone operating system. I mean, whichever country you take a look at it, majority of the country's smartphones run on Android operating system. But as of 2018, Android has slightly changed in its avatar and its packaging. That's because there's now not one Android, but three kinds of Androids. That's right. And I'm not even talking about the fragmentation of various versions from Android 5, 6, 7, 8 and the upcoming P and whatever else you might have after that. But let's say, for example, we're talking about Android Oreo, which is 8.0, 8.1, okay? Now within Android Oreo, there are three avatars of Android. One is the regular Android that you see on your Galaxy S9s, your Note 8s, your Essential phone or your Xiaomi phones, your OnePlus phones, basically any manufacturer of your choice, that's your regular Android, okay? Companies take that version of Android, they skin it as per their version, they optimize it as per their hardware, and that's what you get. Number two is something called Android One. What is Android One? It's a preferred partner program from Google, of which we know that Nokia is one of the main hardware partners right now. What does Android One bring to the table? Complete stock Android, the latest and the fastest software updates in terms of security patches and whatever version patches or version upgrades that might come, okay? In fact, Nokia announced here at Mobile World Congress that all their phones are a part of the Android One program. How does it help Google? Google gets to work very closely with a hardware partner like Nokia, and they get to help create the best possible hardware and software combination for that particular version of Android. So if you buy a brand new Nokia, which is an HMD global device today, you would get not just the most up-to-date version of Android Oreo, but each and every month or whenever brand new security patches come, the version updates and security patches come first to your Nokia hardware. And we've seen over the last 1 year, Nokia has actually come through on their promise of giving the most secure and the most updated Android version in their hardware. So if you're a person like that, you definitely want to jump on board the Nokia smartphone bandwagon. And they've got a whole bunch of options from the Nokia 6 to the 7 Plus to the 8 Sirocco launched here at Mobile World Congress, okay? Now the third and the most exciting, so to say, and the most impactful version of Android, which is a rather new development, is something called Android Go. That's right. Now Go is typically the version of Android that is used for hardware that has 1 GB of RAM. That's right. Some of you might look at me and say, what are you talking about, Ankit? Who uses a phone with 1 GB of RAM anymore? Well, newsflash, the next couple of billion people in the world, when they buy a smartphone, these smartphones are going to be costing approximately $50 or $70 and less. So really budget, first ever smartphone kind of experience. Now Android Go is the operating system specifically designed for that. What is different compared to Android One or regular Android? Clearly file size. Most of this hardware in the super budget entry level segment is stuff that comes with, let's say, 4 or 8 GB of internal storage. So all of the Android Go native apps, from Gmail to YouTube to Google Maps to any other Google app that you might use, that is completely stripped down in terms of its size. What does that result in? Freeing up a lot more storage on the ROM on board. So even with all the pre-installed apps, an 8 GB storage phone will still offer about 5.5, 6 GB of workable storage, because Go apps are so much smaller and shrunk up, okay? In terms of functionality, they pretty much offer everything that there is. Also, the focus here with the Android Go phones is to try and give the user a lot more control over the amount of data that they consume and how they consume it. So you might remember an app called Files Go, which is a storage management app by Google. If there is any dormant app that you're not really using on your phone, File Go will suggest that, you know, maybe you uninstall it from your phone, okay? There's a lot of data saving chops that Chrome browser and YouTube Go and all these particular apps offer. Of course, you can use a regular Android phone and download the Go version to, you know, make use of those data saving measures. Alternatively, even if you buy an Android Go hardware like the Micromax Bharat phone or like the Nokia One, which is an Android Go phone, then you can still download full-fledged Android apps. It's just that you might have less memory to work with in the storage of the rest of your phone. So it's important to understand the landscape. There's regular Android, on pretty much any kind of hardware of any phone maker. There's Android One, where Google is partnering. They are selecting a few hand-picked OEM partners, hardware partners, so they can really dictate the story and work with the partner on the best hardware software combination, latest security and version updates. And the third version, the juiciest of the bit, because everybody has realized that most of the folks like you and I who are watching this on a smartphone, we are already connected with Android smartphones. But where do the next couple of billion people with their smartphones come into the fold of Google and Google services and Android services? That is what Android Go is for. Really small, cheap hardware, 1 GB RAM kind of hardware, 4 to 8 GB of ROM. Android Go is optimized for that. I really hope that you understood what the Android landscape is looking like in 2018. And if you've got any questions about this, shoot right away in the comment section. It's super cold. I'm going to try and keep myself warm while we check out the other cool things at Mobile World Congress. And don't forget to check out Tech2.com for all the latest updates from Barcelona.